are live. I am joined by my good friend, colleague, um, Adele user, Andrew Combo
Oh
Salop. How you
wow.
doing?
Putting it out there. Wow. I mean, I use Apple, you know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I see. I'm getting a new iPhone 12 Friday.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've seen it. The camera is amazing, I'll tell you that.
Tons of selfies coming your way, so be ready.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Man, it's always good to be here. First to catch up, always great catching up with you. Second of all, we always give them some great content, always give them some great content. So it kills two birds with one stone, maybe three birds, who knows.
Wow, three birds. Getting
Yeah,
a
I had
little
a, I had another bird, but I forgot. I was gonna lead off with that, but whatever. We're good.
combo. I like the shirt. Where can people
Oh,
check
thanks.
out the shirt?
Oh, DM me 1-2 combo ONETWOCOMBO
You know,
Instagram.
this is so funny.
Nothing too
What
fancy, Nothing too
I know, I
fancy.
like the long sleeve. I'm a long sleeve type of guy. When I was on your Instagram, I'm like, okay, combo. You know, I've never taken the time to actually read your name. So I'm like, 1-2 combo. I'm like, oh, that is so clever. The 1-2 combo. Like, I just see combo. I never really read what was before the combo. So now I see the 1-2. It just adds another element to your page.
Yeah, I have to admit I did not make that up. My friend Clue made it up, so shouts to him. Yeah, he's like, you got to get Instagram. He basically like he took the phone, like he added it. I guess there wasn't combo, so he came up with that. He's a pretty creative guy,
No,
so
I like it. I was
shout
like,
shouts to him.
I meant to
Yeah.
text you that too. I was like, combo, I love your name. But then I was like, man, I don't know. I think I got carried away doing something else.
Yeah, you would think I'm
But
a boxer or something, right? With that name,
yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. It adds another element to your
Yeah.
page. It's like Hooper slash maybe he's the best boxer you know.
Yeah. No, it's very creative. I did not come with it. I did not come up with it. Shouts to Clue. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
Well, combo. We have the draft coming out November 18th. Obviously, the start of the NBA season is projected for December 22nd. We're getting free agency talks. We're getting rumors. But I wanted to use your expertise. You see the game through a different lens because obviously you played on an elite level. And then as a media personality such as yourself, so you have so many different perspectives that you offer. So I wanted to get your perspective on like the first top 10 picks of the NBA draft. Because I mean, I've heard so many different takes, so many different opinions. Someone likes Anthony Edwards, other people like LaMelo Ball. You have Wiseman, you have Toppin. So there's so many different prospects. I wanted to get your expertise. Can you do that for me?
Sure, man. Let's get it done. I just put out my top five. It was kind of like a mini big board. It wasn't a
Right.
mock. It wasn't the order I thought it would go in. It was just the top five players that I thought are going to be the best players or the best players in the draft and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm glad to do this with you, Max.
I'm very excited. And now later in the week, I'll have on my guy Zach. There's obviously some gems in the draft that he'll point out, but I wanted to definitely get your head um, your head guys, your top guys of the draft, and who you think and who you like and where we see them going. So the first overall pick, Timberwolves. You're the guest. Do you want to go with the first pick?
Sure, and I'm going to go with my number one on my top five available, Anthony Edwards. I'm going with Anthony Edwards because I think I'm not going necessarily with fit here. And the other choice is LaMelo, which I don't really think is a great fit. Rashad thought it was a great fit because he says you need two ball dominant guards in today's NBA, which I could see for sure. But in my opinion, I mean, Anthony Edwards is the best player available. I think everybody knows he's a good athlete, but I don't think everybody realizes how great of an athlete he is. He he has all the athleticism that like is eye popping, and then he has the stuff we can't really see, like the deceleration that Luca and James Harden have. So he's a ridiculous athlete. I think people aren't giving him enough credit. He gets his shot off so easily at all three levels. He gets separation on his jump shot. He's an NBA scorer right now. Like if you put him in an NBA game, he's going to score. I just think he's the best player in this draft. I think he will be the best player in this draft, and I think he has the most superstar potential. So pretty much whoever had the first pick, I would go with Anthony Edwards, me personally.
Wow.
Except maybe the Warriors, which I think Wiseman is a great fit there. But you know, I really
Right.
like Edwards. Yeah.
No, I agree with everything you just said. Like I love Anthony Edwards, his game. I don't know who exactly said it. I think it may have been Perkins, and he talked about Westbrook's athleticism with Harden's craft. And I'm like, man, that's scary. Just let alone that's scary.
He
And then
really is
watch,
that athletic. I think people are saying,
yeah,
yeah. I think people are saying like, yeah, he's a great athlete, but not really realizing it, that he literally runs and jumps almost like Zion, not too far away. Obviously, he's not the weight, and he decelerates like Luka and Harden. Like he really has all that type of athleticism. It's really
Right.
interesting. And
Right. In
people
which,
are he's not even getting that kind of credit for it. They're just saying, yeah, good athlete, you know?
right. No, that's a good point because I think people think about his skills as well because he's so skilled. So
Right.
instead of just highlighting the athleticism, there's so many things to highlight. And then with the Clutch Sports Open workouts, I was impressed. Like I know it's just a workout, but I'm like, I just love his attitude. I like how he carries himself. I think he has
Yeah.
the dog mentality. I am going to have a slight disagreement with you, and that is if you say Anthony Edwards is the best player in this draft, like I'm not going to argue with it, but I do think LaMelo is a very interesting prospect. And if I were the Timberwolves, I actually agree with Rashad on this one. I think I would run with him number one because I think his ability to set D'Angelo Russell up would allow D'Angelo Russell to just kind of blossom and thrive. Because I think Anthony Edwards is to everything you just said, but I don't know if he'll be able to set up D Russ the way LaMelo would. Now, either way, do you think it's a fit though?
Well, if you could have Anthony Edwards on ball and D'Angelo Russell plays great off ball, right?
Right? That's true. Very
So I
true.
mean, D'Angelo Russell could do both. I like LaMelo, and I had him number 2 on my best available. But
Okay.
I was thinking about this today, man. So let's compare him and Tyrese Halliburton, right?
Okay.
So I know there's nuance to everything, but I really put a little bit of thought into this. They have the same weakness. They're not the best ISO scorers, right? Neither
Right.
one of them.
Right.
LaMelo is obviously the better passer, but Tyrese is not a bad passer. He's actually a very good passer who has great instincts, great vision, and is a great passer himself, just not special like LaMelo. Okay, so we give that to LaMelo, but it's not even a weakness for Tyrese, right? Tyrese is clearly the better shooter. Tyrese is clearly the better defender right now, even though LaMelo has some tools. And Tyrese is a proven winner. That's a lot going in Tyrese's favor when we compare those two guys. And I think most people would have LaMelo clearly over Tyrese. What are your thoughts on all of that? Does all that make sense to you?
Yeah, I love Tyrese Halliburton's game. Like I will talk about it.
Oh, and
I
one more thing. He plays better off the ball than LaMelo.
agreed. And he has two different types of forms, which is very interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but what I do, like I said, Tyrese Halliburton and LaMelo both have the Bluetooth quality. So I said LeBron is Bluetooth, Michael Jordan's Wi-Fi, and then I broke down what that was.
Magic
Um,
Johnson's Bluetooth, right?
yeah, Magic Johnson Bluetooth.
What's Bird though? He's
I
both.
think I think he's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got that
yeah.
Wi-Fi and he's got the Bluetooth.
Right, right.
But I think Tyrese Halliburton and LaMelo have that quality where they can connect with any device. Sometimes LaMelo's ball dominant, but I think he can connect with any device. And I think Tyrese Halliburton has that as well. So I love Halliburton's game. But I think the reason why most people, it's like clearly why LaMelo's projected higher than him, because everything you said is true, but I think we're thinking long term the development of LaMelo. I think he plays with more flair. He's
Yeah.
definitely Showtime. He'll get people in seats.
And
But
Tyrese has some flair too if you watch
he
him
does.
in transition.
He does. He certainly
Yeah.
does. But
But
I
not
think
the same as LaMelo. I agree with that.
right,
Right.
right. But I
Yeah.
also think we think of LaMelo as a 6'8" point guard, which people just are obsessed with the height of a point guard position. And then we think of the potential and room for growth. And so, like, I think when you kind of accommodate all that and you bring everything into account, I think that's why LaMelo's so highly prospected, is just because of that aspect alone. But to your point, though, is a very good point. That's a big question about LaMelo. He never really, he's not a proven winner yet. Halliburton is. So to your point, there's a lot of things that go in Halliburton's favor right now, but I
Yeah.
think people are thinking long-term ceiling wise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I could see it. I just not sure who will be the better player, and I really like Tyrese a
Ooh.
lot. Uh, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton are my two favorite prospects in this draft. Yeah.
You're very high on Halliburton. I'm high as
Oh
well.
yeah, I was always high on him, and I think he's been climbing lately. Like
He
I was
has.
hearing I was hearing one report like he's gonna go 4 to 8 most likely. I mean, I don't think he was like that when
No.
I first started discussing his game about I don't know how many months ago it was now. So it's interesting. He's climbing. We'll see what develops, man. He's gonna be a good NBA player. He's just and yeah.
I like it. So first pick, we'll go. Okay, so you have Anthony Edwards to the Timberwolves. Second pick, let's just assume in the world that we're living in right now, the Warriors don't make a blockbuster trade and they still have that pick. Number 2 is James Wiseman, and I just think it's
I
just
agree.
obvious. Yeah, I just think it's just an obvious fit. You need a mobile center who can rim run, who's athletic, can move his feet, catch lobs, good defender. You already have Steph, you have Clay, you have Draymond, you have Wiggins. James Wiseman's my second overall pick.
Yeah, I like that. I agree with you. They could go with another guy though that either if it's LaMelo or Halliburton, or I don't think they would go with Edwards with that one. Even though he's my favorite prospect, but somebody that could dribble, pass, shoot, and play on the perimeter. You never know, because they got a couple young players that played well this year. So if they could step up, they might not need Wiseman at that spot, but I still do agree with you, and I think they will take Wiseman, and I like the pick. I think Wiseman's going to be a good NBA player.
One thing I've said to combo is 1-2 combo. The one thing I did say though is the Warriors. Everyone leaks information for a reason. It's not just linked. Like it's not a coincidence that such a well-run franchise like the Warriors has the most leaks. They're putting pressure on the Timberwolves, on the 76ers, all these teams to make moves. They have leaks that they like Denny. They
Smoke
have
screens, right?
Yeah, they have leaks that they like everybody. And it's just full of smoke screens. And it's just so brilliant on the Warriors' part. They're in the mix with the James Harden trade. There's just so many different things that the Warriors are involved in. I wanted to throw that out there because, to your point, they do have options. They have Wiggins. They have the draft pick. I think they do go Wiseman. But like I was saying, to your point, they've thrown so many smoke screens out and interested in so many different players. It wouldn't surprise me if they did something unconventional ahead of the curve and just did something out of the blue.
Like draft Jay Scrub?
Don't think they would do that. I don't see that one coming. But
who knows?
Who knows?
I mean,
yeah, who knows?
He's a JUCO guy, so it's unconventional route. We'll see where he goes. That's going to be interesting.
We'll see. So now the third overall pick, the Hornets. Who did they select?
The Hornets select LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whoever doesn't get that first overall pick.
Yeah, I think you just forget about fit and you take the best player available or the guy with the highest upside. And on my side of things, I would go LaMelo. I would go with him. Obviously we all know how his game is. He actually put up really good numbers in a really good league. So it's not like it's just all. I mean, it's not all flash. Like the kid has substance to his game. Every level he played at, he stepped up and played well. Whether it was high school, prep school, Lithuania, I don't know how he played there, but in the NBA, in the NBL, he definitely stepped up. The Drew League it's a summer league, but he showed he could play with men, and play well and be very confident. And he doesn't lack confidence. He obviously has one of the highest upsides in this draft and elite vision, something you just can't teach. So yeah, I would go with LaMelo with the third pick.
I covered a Hornets game this season. It feels like forever ago because this year just is like I forgot that I covered a game this February. It feels like last year. And that was this NBA season. I covered a Hornets game combo. And people forget about Terry Rozier. He had so much love in Boston. And then he goes to Charlotte. They have a nice backcourt. Like they have bigs. They're a young squad, but they're missing that dynamic piece. And that's why I think LaMelo would be a good fit there. And honestly, even if Anthony Edwards falls to 3, I think Anthony Edwards thrives there as well. Now it is the Hornets.
I feel like a Hornets is a good situation for. Well, obviously, I mean Anthony Edwards would be a better fit there, I think, even than Minnesota. No, than Minnesota. But I was just saying, if I was Minnesota, I would take him because I feel like he's the best player. But obviously, it's a great fit for him because he's just going to get a lot of reps.
Right?
It would be a great. fit
I
for
agree.
Him. Yeah,
and I think Charlotte. It's a win-win for Charlotte. I think they either get LaMelo or they get Anthony Edwards, assuming that the Warriors get Wiseman. So the fourth overall pick, we have Chicago. I'm going with Danny Adjiva. I have him as
Advia. There you go.
Danny Advia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Advia. And one thing that I really like about his game and how he fits with Chicago is you do have Levine, Wendell Carter, then you have Lauri Markkanen. So I've covered them as well, and I saw that team. I really like Zach's game. They're missing that wing. who's
and
a little bit.
Kobe White's a certified bucket, right?
Kobe White's a certified bucket.
Yeah. That guy could score. So yeah,
he can score. So that's why I think the wing just makes the most sense.
Where do you like Denny's game in terms of what position he'll play? Like, do you think he'll more be like an on the ball 3 or off the ball 4, or where do you think teams will use him? And what do you think his skill set is for the NBA level?
I think it depends on the situation. I don't think he's the most refined shooter right now, so I'm not sure how much off the ball he will be. It kind of depends on the situation because Zach LaVine is somewhat ball dominant at times, but I think allowing Zach to play a little off ball and let Denny do what he does, I think that would help Zach's game as well. So in Chicago, I like him on the three, the wing, handle the ball a little bit, play make a little bit. I think that would complement everybody's game within that system.
Okay. Why would you take Denny over Tyrese?
Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah.
Well, because you do have Kobe, you do have Zach, because Zach's a primary ball handler. And I do like Tyrese.
Well,
and I think
Tyrese plays very well off the ball.
He does. And that's what's interesting. I just think their missing piece, because you already do have a little playmaking, you already do have a perimeter threat. Their missing piece is a wing. And so I think Denny offers more for Chicago because of what they're missing. I think he fills a need more.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Denny's thing is that he's not a great free throw shooter, which is usually a great indicator on what type of shooter you will become at the NBA level. So that's a big concern, but he plays really well in transition. He's a good passer and a good player and it seems like he's a good kid from his interviews I've seen online. So
yeah,
like that, he's a hard worker. He's always in the gym. So
what do you think of the Hedo Turkoglu type of comps? Obviously, he doesn't have the jump shot of Hedo Turkoglu right now, but I've seen a lot of that comps with him. Do you see that a little bit? Those flashes of Hedo? You there, Combo? I think I'm missing you there, Combo.
Hello? Was that you? Was that you?
I don't know. I was talking like he's thinking pretty hard over there.
No. I didn't hear you. I heard he do, and you didn't finish he do. So you could edit.
It was either your Wi-Fi hooked up to the router or it's my Wi-Fi. I'm not sure which one it was, but I said he shows a lot of flashes of Hedo Turkoglu. I've seen a lot of comps with that. Obviously, he doesn't have the refined jump shot of Turkoglu, but what do you think of that? Does that make sense?
I think Hedo had better feel for the game than Denny. Not saying that Denny doesn't have feel for the game. I just felt like Hedo was really comfortable with the basketball in his hands, like really comfortable, like kind of like how Joe Angles is, you know, just like could come off the pick and roll, could make decisions with the basketball. I mean,
right.
Denny does show promise in the full court in transition with that, but in the half court, I don't think he's as good yet as like a Joe Angles or a Hedo. So yeah, right. I mean, I could see that's what they want him to be. Like I think they want him to be a big ball handling guard, you know. But we'll see if he could do that, or he's gonna have to play the 4 more like a Caspi did, who's from the same country. So we'll see.
I'm not saying Denny's Luka by any means, but this is a copycat league. So I think when you do see an overseas player thrive and excel in a certain way, teams are gonna be like, okay, let's see if we can get that type of thing going. I'm not saying it will happen, but I do think that's certainly going through some of their minds.
Oh, 100% that helped his draft stock.
Yeah.
100%. I texted my friend about that. Like, there's going to be a fear of missing out when it comes to Denny. And I think that raises his stock. And I think, you know, that's going to help him a lot. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if he would go as high if it wasn't for Luka and what he's done. But I think if you're going to compare them, I think that's really unfair to Denny because Luka was a EuroLeague MVP before he ever got into the NBA. So, you know, it's a little bit different. It's a lot different, I think.
Right. We're 4 picks in. I had Anthony Edwards. I went Wiseman. Then we go LaMelo. Then we go Denny. Now we're at number 5, the Cavaliers. Who did the Cavs pick, Combo?
So wait. So that means we're doing it together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going with Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, you got 2 ball-dominant guards. Or did I pick Tyrese for every pick so far? That's what it feels like.
You did say he could fit in every pick so far, which makes sense because he can.
Yeah, so I'm going with him. You know, he has those 2 guys that are ball dominant, right?
Right. You have Sexton, you have Porter Jr.
Exactly. You have Sexton, Porter Jr., and Garland.
Yes, and Garland.
So yeah, Tyrese Halliburton could play off the ball. He could play the 2. I think another guy that you could put there. Lost my lighting. I'll put it back. Another guy that since Denny's off the table for us, right?
Right.
Obi Toppin, I think, would be a good fit there as well. So
okay, I'm about to say, let's talk about that. So you just drafted a guard.
2 people. I just drafted 2 people back. So
I know. Come on, man. You're a GM who wins no matter what. No, but combo, combo. Now, do you really think Halliburton can really succeed with already having key players that they already have at the guard position? So that's what I'm saying. Do you think it's smarter for them? You can get more out of the player if you do go with that wing or a big.
Yeah, I think that makes sense what you're saying, and Obi Toppin might be the move there. But it's just that like I feel
So
like
who are you picking, combo?
well, if Tyrese Halliburton's available, I'm taking Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay.
So we won't draft him anymore for the rest of the draft, all right?
Yeah, I have to scratch a couple things because I had him.
Oh, we're doing this to get. See, we should have done each pick the same, no?
You're right. No, you're right. But we're just bouncing off of each other. I'm acting like
yeah. So it's good,
all 30 GMs in the league within two people.
Yeah, exactly. So the fans are going to get a lot out of it. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. So okay, so you're going with it's official. Your official pick. You're giving it to Adam Silver through Zoom. Is Tyrese Halliburton for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah, he is not available anymore.
Okay, I'm just making sure that's
but
clear.
Who I think they will take in reality? You want me to tell you that?
Okay, yeah. In reality, who do you see?
I think whoever's available between Denny and Obi, I think they will take.
See, now you have K-Love, you have Drummond. I think Denny makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah. I think they both do. So I think they'll take, one of those two guys if either of them are available. Who would I take? Tyrese Halliburton. You know what? You have to let me know who we're drafting by. Who I think they would draft or who I would draft.
Who you would draft? I want Combo's opinion.
Okay, yeah. Tyrese Halliburton.
Okay. Now, just based off what you just told me, though, you think Obi would be okay at the 3? If you have K-Love, you have Drummond, you have Sexton, you have Porter Jr., you have Garland. So you're putting Obi at the 3 then.
Well, Larry Nance Jr. was playing some 3, so why not Obi?
True.
I mean, Obi is very capable on offense. His biggest issue is defense. So, yeah, right. I think he could play the 3, the 4, and even some small ball 5. Right. The thing at the 3 is that sometimes 3s have to play off the pick and roll in some systems, so I don't know if he could do that. But he definitely can knock down 3s. He'll be great pick and pop. He's going to be really good on offense. It's just we're gonna have to see how he figures it out on defense because he does have some issues. I think some of it is overanalyzed. Like when they're just talking about his hips and his high center of gravity all day, I think there's an overanalyst. Like I think they're overanalyzing a little bit, but there definitely will be some issues on defense for him.
I've never heard high center of gravity as much as I ever
with Obi.
Yeah, with Obi, I've never heard this. It's like when social distancing first happened. I was like, I've never went from hearing social distancing to social distancing was within every sentence I heard, and now it's high center of gravity. Like that's the next slogan.
Like he's not going to be able to play in the NBA anymore. Like what? He's going to go second round because he has high center of gravity. Get out of here. Like I think Dwight Howard has a high center of gravity. He's 35 and he's fine, right? Like he has the small leg thing and he's big up top and he's fine. Right. Like Obi will be fine. I mean, I'm not saying he'll be Dwight Howard, but he's super skilled offensively. He was the best college basketball player out. Like I almost think he's getting underrated at this point because of the overanalysis and because everybody's overanalyzing his defense,
Right. No, I agree. So, all right. So we have Tyrese Halliburton's officially scratched off.
Yeah, we won't. He's off the board.
He's for the Cavs. So now I'm going to go to the Hawks and I'm going to pick Obi Toppin. Kind of everything we just talked about. So you have Josh Collins, you have Trae Young, Cam, you have a lot of elite guards. I'm looking at it now. I just think it makes sense. I would like to see him next to John Collins, excuse me. I think the Hawks should draft Obi, and I think they should, and I think I could see that happening for them. Like I think they would actually pick that as well. I think we're in agreement.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I like that one.
No overthinking that one. So now we're gonna go to 7 with the Pistons. Now you have to nail this one.
Why? You have to. Why? Because I know who you want me to pick.
Yeah, because if you don't pick them, I'm going to pick them. Like, I want to pick.
Go first, and I'll tell you who I got. I know who you're talking.
It's only right that we're alternating it, so it's
right.
Okay.
We'll play this game Patrick. I'll take the hottest name in the draft right now who's climbing up the charts, Patrick Williams.
Okay.
I'll go with Patrick Williams. He has all the NBA tools you need to be a good NBA player. He's really young. He seems to be a winner. And, he's just that long athlete that you like to have in the NBA. Everybody needs one of them. And if he could improve on the other things, he could just be a really good NBA player that could help a winning team win. So I like Patrick Williams. He might not have the biggest superstar potential, but he has a lot of potential because of his youth and all the tools he has as an NBA player. So I'll go with Patrick Williams.
Every roster needs a guy like Patrick Williams.
Yes.
I really like his game. Okay, so you're going to the Pistons with Patrick Williams. I wanted you to pick
RJ Hampton.
RJ Hampton. I just think that makes the most sense. A dynamic guard, puts butts in seats. I just think it makes the most sense. But to your point, if you do still ride with Derrick Rose, having a wing, you do have Blake still. It works. It certainly works. I like Patrick Williams' game, though. So.
Yeah. Is RJ Hampton ready right now to produce?
Yeah.
Like you think like those guys like Anthony Edwards or Tyrese Halliburton?
No. I don't think he's as ready as Anthony Edwards. I don't think he may burst onto the scene his rookie year and just be like, okay, that's it. But I think, for one, we do live in a fast food type society where it's like, okay, we need it right now. And when you get young players and you see them develop, I think early you're going to see, okay, this kid is going to be special. And I think he will turn into something special. I just don't think he's going to burst onto the scenes first season doing what Anthony Edwards does.
Yeah.
But I just think it makes the most sense for Detroit considering what they need. Just adding some excitement. Like, I don't think people get excited when you think of Detroit. I think he would provide that.
No, I'm not mad at it. I think he's gonna be a good NBA player. So we'll see what develops. Yeah.
So number 8 is the Knicks. I'm taking the Knicks. Well, first we have James Dolan as the owner. So as the GM of the Knicks, I do want to request a new owner.
Okay.
So that's my first move as GM of the Knicks. I think we need to make sure the front office is handled first before we draft any of these amazing players. So that's my first vouch.
I think we could agree what position they need, right?
With the Knicks, yeah.
Yeah, they need a point guard.
Yes. I wasn't the biggest on RJ Barrett, like out of college. I actually thought Cam Reddish was going to be a bigger upside than RJ Barrett, but I do like RJ.
Cam came on really strong at the end of this season, so we'll see what happens. Yeah,
I'm more of a Cam guy, but I do like RJ Barrett, and I think a point guard will help him more. And so considering that, I was going to pick, but you scratched my guy out 4 different times. That was going to be Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, he might not. He might not make it there, Max.
I don't think he's certainly not making it there tonight.
He's already played on 3 teams.
Yeah, but considering that you haven't picked RJ Hampton yet, I think I'd pick RJ Hampton at number 8 for the Knicks to go alongside RJ Barrett. So at least you get.
Now you have RJ playing for 2 teams, so now we're even. Good.
Now we're even.
So I would probably go with Killian Hayes here. I would probably go with Killian Hayes. Great feel for the game. Lefty dominant, but could get separation on his jump shot. Played at a pretty good level at Germany. Really young. Plays well in transition. Really good. Has a lot of upside. Some people even have him number 1 on their big boards, which is kind of crazy.
What do you think? Where do you see him in going throughout like his career? Like, what do you see him as? Like, what's his ceiling for you? I know it's hard. That's a very hard thing to do, but just what you've seen already based off the way he plays, some similarities you may see with someone in the league.
Man, he's really. Oh man.
Sometimes players are just their own selves. Sometimes there's not really a comp.
Yeah, like he gets that separation like a Harden, but I don't think he'll ever be the scorer Harden is.
Do you think of like Russ a little bit?
Yeah, that's a good one. Not a super explosive athlete, but great feel.
Right.
Could score has the potential to score on all 3 levels, even though his 3-point percentage isn't great yet. I think his free throw percentage is pretty good, which is a good indicator, as we spoke of before. So I think he'll end up being a good shooter. He's really lefty dominant. So the right hand is something he could work on. But yeah, I like D'Angelo Russell for him. That's a good one. Just, like a slinky type scorer who could see the floor as well and put stats on the board. And yeah, I like him. I like Killian. Great feel for the game. Cool.
All right. Number 9, we're going to go with the Wizards. That is you, my friend.
The Wizards.
Yes, sir.
Onyeka Okongwu. I hope this said his name right. They need a big. They got John Wall. They got Bradley Beal. They need some bigs up front, and he could rebound. He's not a bad shooter. He could run the floor. He has good length. I think he fits there well, and maybe he could help them right away and play some productive minutes. Who would you go if you had that pick?
I actually agree. I think that makes sense because it looks like John Wall. Obviously, John Wall's coming back, but it looks like Bradley Beal's probably going to stay. If I had to bet my money, So then you already have a backcourt. So I'd say either a wing or a big. But in this case, I would go with the big.
Yeah. So
So
we're agreeing on that one.
yeah, I like it. I like his game. Number 10, the Suns. Now this is getting really interesting because of the topic that we'll get into right after this pick. You have D Book, obviously. You have Oubre. You have DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
So I didn't think they had a point guard because Book does a little bit of everything. He's a combo guard. Sometimes he's point, sometimes he's shooting guard.
Well,
So I'm like, it'd be really cool to have a point guard to help him. But now there's rumors that they get Chris Paul. So if they were, do I draft according to if they get Chris Paul or if they don't? Because if they don't, I haven't picked Killian Hayes yet. I picked Tyrese Halliburton. So I think Killian Hayes would make a lot of sense next to D Book.
Okay, well, how about this? Even if Chris Paul comes, it's a guard that could learn the game from Chris Paul. Chris Paul could be the guy who not only has that role that usually the end of the bench guy has, who's a veteran that could bring young guys up, but he could also be a very, very
That's true.
good NBA player that could help the team at the same time. I mean, Chris Paul wears many hats. I mean, I think he could do that. I think he could help a young point guard and help the team get wins.
Right.
So I still don't think they'll be a championship contender, even if Chris Paul goes.
No.
So I don't know if they'll really be playing for a championship. So he'll be able to groom that. He'll be able to groom that young PG. So I think they could still go with a PG. Yeah, I think Killian would be a great pick if he's there.
All right. Well, then, yeah, you just sold me. So that's going to be my pick.
Yeah. No, I would pick it. Look, man, he's going to only make Killian better for the long run. Teach him the NBA game, right?
Right. No, yeah, I like that. Now, all right. So we got our top 10 picks of the NBA draft combo. You did a 10 out of 10 job. I think I was around 8 or 9. So
you were a 10,
but,
Max. You're always a 10. You're getting ready for Atlanta.
Yeah. This is my first time.
Yeah.
I've been to Cali. I've been to New York. Never been to Atlanta.
I might show my face in Atlanta, Max. Who knows?
We'll go grab some lunch.
Yeah, most definitely.
You ever had cookout? You've had cookout, right?
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. Because Zach, he's like, I don't have enough time for anything. You know, Zach's on that. Zach's like, I love that guy. That's my bro. But so serious, man. Zach, go grab lunch. Come on, Zach, get it together. Go record. But go subscribe to the Off the Glass podcast.
Yeah, I love Zach. But no, I could eat cookout. It could be 3 a.m. I think if the
hours have
changed, I would 1,000% take an Uber to cookout if it's 2 a.m.
Max, it's a done deal. If I'm out there, we're going. All right.
You have to order an unnecessary amount of cookout sauce.
So it's almost like Chick-fil-A, but for fish.
Yeah, dude, cookout has everything.
So is this like a chain type spot, a fast type spot, a high end type spot, or something?
Oh, it's not high end. It's definitely like a drive through. Yeah, it's like fast food, but it's so good. It's not. I don't consider it fast food.
Yeah, we're there, Max. We're there. If I'm there, we're there.
Yeah, let's make it happen, Captain. But all right, let's get into the NBA free agency. I already took up a lot of your time, so I appreciate it, Combo. We just talked about CP3 to the Suns. My question for you would be, do you think it actually happens? Like, could you see now? The reason why I say that is because could it make sense? Could it actually happen? Yes. But I said Chris Paul on court, I think it makes sense with D Book. I think they both make their lives easier. But when I did like a I don't know if you saw it, a city based off their personality with the player. Does it match or does it not? And often I think people forget these are people too. And like you want to go somewhere that.
How would they forget that?
Well, I think like we think these people are superheroes when we watch them on TV and like, hey, these guys actually have to go home. They have to live in this area. Like when people get traded, they have to move their families. They have to move all their stuff. It's a whole new area. I don't think Chris Paul, based off personality and city, I don't think it fits. You're talking about a huge brand, a very vocal person, as well as someone who's the head of the NBPA, or I say that right? Yeah, NBPA. So with such a big brand as Chris Paul and just considering who he is, I don't think it fits based off the personality. Take their skills, I think it does. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's right on the mark. I think Chris Paul wants to go to a place where he can win a championship. Does he feel he can win a championship there? I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It does make sense. I mean, Booker could play the 2, he could play the 1, and it could work really well, and they'll be a lot better. I don't know if they'll be a championship contender. And you're right. Does he want to live in Phoenix at this point of his career? Not saying Phoenix is a bad city, but would he rather be in like in LA or in New York? Not team wise. I'm talking about living wise, right?
Right.
Would he rather be in LA or New York? I'm sure he would. So it'll be interesting to see. I think you're right on the mark with that. I agree with you 100%.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We also have James Harden. We have Houston. So now, according to reports, Houston is kind of just in disarray. So you have James Harden, who kind of went ghost.
I like their coaching hire, by the way.
I do too.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It's a different direction also. So it's not going to just be small ball and straight offense. It's a different direction.
It's a less analytic approach for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But James Harden and Russell Westbrook, according to this report, have both expressed signs of concerns with the front office and the direction of the franchise.
Harden and Westbrook?
Yes.
Okay.
So then you see a report saying, I don't know if you've seen this. I mean, Twitter's literally like the world now. It said that the Warriors, the Nets, and I could be wrong. Of course, Philly, of course.
Because I keep hearing James Harden back with Morey.
Yeah. So all these teams are reported to express interest in trading for him, and I think it makes the most sense. James Harden goes to Philly, Daryl Morey. You probably have to trade Ben Simmons, but then it's probably a better combination as far as on-court styles, James Harden and Embiid. But then I saw the Nets as a possible scenario. So combo, break it down. You're no longer a GM. You are now a back to your media personality, host of the Combos Court. Where do you see James Harden landing?
I like the Philly thing. I don't like them. I'm like really high on Ben Simmons, so it's tough for me to say.
I am too.
To let him go because I want to see them do it one more year. But
I feel like people aren't high on Ben Simmons anymore.
I don't know why. He's basically
it's the three. He doesn't shoot a three, and I think that's the label that goes before people even talk about. Hey, 6'10" point forward.
But he does everything.
Why? Can do everything. They say he can't shoot.
Sometimes you got to look at what everything a player can do, not what he can't do. And he could do everything at a high level besides shoot. He's probably one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He's one of the better. He's a top 10 passer, probably. Great rebounder. Finishes around the rim. Really smart. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't like his game, but I think it'd be an interesting fit. I think James Harden is what you want when you're going with an analytic perspective towards the game. You know, he gets to the free throw line, he gets layups, and he gets threes, right? So That's what you want. That's why it all came together in Houston. And really, I don't think that small ball idea was a bad idea. I just think they ran into the wrong team. So we'll see what develops. They'll have to do something differently because they'll have Joel if what you're saying is right, and then Ben goes because you kind of have to almost play 4 out and 1 in. I mean, Houston was really playing 5 out, so it would be a totally different style of basketball. But I like it. I like James Harden in Philly, and it'd be fun to see him in a new spot. I think the Houston might have run its course, but I really do like the hiring. So I like to see them running back as well with Paul Silas as the coach. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, Max.
There's a lot to play out. Play out. Combo, I appreciate it. I know you're a Tyrese Halliburton fan, so I hope the draft.
I'm a proponent of his game. I'm a fan of no team or no player, like Zach says. How about that?
Yeah, I like Tyrese Halliburton, so it's going to be exciting to see where he.
What you feel about my mellow Tyrese breakdown? I don't know. I think they're closer than people think.
I think based off what I've seen and read, you know, Twitter, like I said, is always tell the truth.
Twitter's the streets now, huh?
It's the streets. It's the streets. Yeah. So I have my ear to the streets at all times. So Anthony Edwards, I feel like, is now the favorite. I don't know if you're getting that impression, but I feel like a lot of people are a fan of Anthony Edwards' game.
Oh, really? That's what's happening.
That's what I'm picking up a little bit. I don't know if
your ears to the streets. You know, I'm more Instagram. You're more Twitter. Well, you're both. You're everything. You're all around. You're like LeBron.
I am active on social media.
Yeah.
I do pride myself on that.
You should be. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, I try not to let it consume me, but I try to.
Yeah, so
I never watched that one.
Yeah, you should watch that for real. But I've had Buster Share on my show. I don't know if you know who he is. He's the CEO of Hoops Nation. But he always talks about, and I agree with him 100%, as long as you're producing content and not just consuming all day. Like if what you do is produce and you're spending a lot of time on your phone producing and putting out stuff, it's good to be on. But I think it's a problem when you're just scrolling all day, you know, just scrolling, consuming. So that's how I look at the social media thing.
I feel a little old when I do that. Like my back starts hurting and then I get like headaches when I stare at the screen for too long.
You need to go out there. There's a big world outside your phone. You know, you need to. People definitely need to live that. But I'm super high on social media. I mean, you know, you see.
You are.
Yeah,
you're a superstar.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Max. But you know, you definitely need to get time away from the phone. Like I like to not When I wake up, I like to like give an hour break before I even look at it. Even though I'll like check for the time or something real quick, I definitely won't be on it in the first hour of my day. But all that good stuff, Max. Yeah,
I would
gotta
love
have
to.
balance.
I would love. I do have the same routine when I wake up and when I go to bed.
Twitter first thing in the morning, right?
No, well, I check the time and then it's like I'm not acting like I'm a popular guy, but it's like, dang, I got a missed call. I have like these texts. So it's like that's the first thing I do go to make sure everyone's okay, and then do a little stretch here and there. I'm trying to stretch more.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't stretch at all right now.
I stretch almost every day, Max.
I'm trying to get there. I can't touch my toes.
Well, are you serious, Max?
Dude, I could do a lot of different other stretches, but for some reason, my hammies, like my hamstrings, are just like tight as a rock.
Yeah, you need to work on that. And here's the key, I think, for you. Don't try and do half an hour a day. Do like 5 minutes every day, 5 to 10 minutes every day, instead of let me stretch for 2 hours today, and then you won't do it for another 2 weeks.
Right.
Small increments of time over a long period of time. I think that's the way to go for you.
I appreciate it. Well, I'll take your advice. I promise. I'm coachable. That's one thing I do pride myself on. I'm very coachable.
Well, that's why you learn so well, and that's why your podcast keeps getting bigger and better. So
I hope so. I mean, I'm talking quite a bit, so it'd be a shame if it wasn't. But to your point, though, I do like both. I'm a little higher on LaMelo. I think
most are. So it's not
Anthony Edwards is more. He's a more ready basketball player right now today. I think he will have a more successful season. I think LaMelo has the intangibles and the ingredients for some amazing stuff, and both do. But I'm a little bit higher on LaMelo.
So, if the first season goes and Anthony Edwards just has a way better season, right? Not saying LaMelo's playing bad or anything. You'll still be like, oh, I'm confident that LaMelo will be the better player.
I would try not to be a prisoner of the moment. I mean, it obviously depends on what we're talking about with LaMelo, right?
What you see too, yeah.
Right. It depends on what I see. I think both are going to be amazing. So it's not going to surprise me if Anthony Edwards is a better player. But I don't know. I just a gut instinct. I kind of gravitate towards LaMelo's feel for the game. It's like may not show up on a stat sheet. It's just his feel. It's just something I see. I just see a 6'8" point guard who has tremendous feel. I think that could be extremely successful.
No, and I'm with you. And I'm a big feel for the game guy. But Ricky Rubio has better feel for the game than a lot of guys that are actually better than him.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's obviously huge. And that's probably the biggest thing I look at. Like, if you don't have that, even at the lowest levels, like if you don't have that, you're probably not going to be a very good player, right? Like when you're talking about like, even lower levels of basketball, you know what I mean? Right. But that doesn't necessarily, like, I agree that LaMelo has better feel for the game than Anthony Edwards, 100%. That don't necessarily mean that he's going to be the better player, in my opinion.
No, that's true.
So
that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
Combo. Where can they find you? Where can they like you? Where can they like your pictures? Be obsessed with your Twitter timeline? I want it all. Where can people find it?
They could find me on Instagram at 12combo. That's ONETWOCOMBO. On Twitter at Combos Court, COMBOSCOURT. And subscribe to the podcast, Combos Court Podcast. We're over 200 episodes in, a lot of great guests. We've co-released podcasts with Max Van Auken, so you could probably catch him on that feed. Catch Max on that feed. And yeah, man, subscribe, listen. I think you'll enjoy. And thanks for having me on, Max.
Of course. The only request I have from you is a sweater. Where can I get a sweater?
If we happen to be in Atlanta at the same time, you will get one.
I appreciate that.
And if we don't, I'll send you one. So you'll get one either way. All right.
It'll sound like we could do the classic jersey pictures. I'll hold
what
one.
Size? What size are you?
What size do you think? Just curious.
Oh my God.
Because so far,
first of all, it has to be medium.
It
has to be medium or large. I know that.
You don't think I'm 6'8"?
No, I don't think you're 6'8".
Okay, you're right. It's medium or large. Let's rock the large. I'm 6'2", about 185.
Large. Yeah, we don't want you. We don't want you being here with the sleeve, right?
The test is you raise your arms up really high, and if the shirt comes up above your waist, that's too small.
Oh, that happens all the time with my son. So I guess we got it. But
he's growing. He's growing.
He got stuff that's too big and stuff that's too small and stuff that fits just right. He's all over the place.
I'm an adult here.
Yeah, that's true.
Kids can get away.
You are, Max. You are. Yeah. You don't want to. you don't want to have the shirt coming up. All right.
I appreciate it, Combo.
We'll get you one. We'll get you a Combos Court shirt. We'll make it happen.
Thank you very much, GM Combo from Combos Court. I appreciate you, and you stay safe. I'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me, Max. Talk soon.